Do you want to live forever? Do you crave immortality? What if I told you that there is a place on the planet where you could actually live forever, and you have to do is find and make it there? Welcome back to Mysteries and Facts, and today, we'll be exploring Gyanganj, the legendary city in the Himalayas, where immortals are said to reside. The Himalayas are home to some of the most wonderful things on this planet, starting with the majestic Mount Everest, which stands as high as 29,029 feet, to the mysterious Mount Kailash, which is considered sacred ground by many religions. The mountain range covers an area of approximately 1,500 miles and stretches across several countries including China, India, Tibet, Nepal, and Bhutan. In the same Himalayas, you will find animals and plants of different species, as well as people of different tribes and clans. Many visit the location to see and experience these things, whilst some go seeking out a thrill and a sense of adventure. As impressive as these are, there is one location in the Himalayas that's even more impressive that many would have tried to visit if they knew about it. This location, however, is one shrouded in mystery, one hidden from mankind throughout its history, and only revealed to enlightened mystics. Wondering what I am going on about? Well, it is stated that there is a place in the Valley of the Himalayas where death is merely a concept that does not exist, and all things malevolent including crime, murder and any other evil you can think of do not exist either. This mystical place that only a few know about is called Gyanganj, the land of the immortals. Gyanganj is believed to be a kingdom the size of a large city, that is inhabited by mysterious and enlightened immortals, who are separated from our world and all the evil things associated with it. It is believed that only those who are great saints without any form of bad karma can be in this kingdom. These include sages, yogis, spiritual leaders, and others who are capable of leaving the pleasures of the world for the greater good of the world at large. Basically denying one's self for the best of others. Given this high standard, it's not surprising that there are not many people in Gyanganj. Although Gyanganj is believed to be in the Himalayas, nobody knows the exact location of the legendary kingdom. It is said that, to get there one has to go through psychic barriers and dimensions, which could be another reason many people have not made it there. Aside from that, it is believed that Gyanganj intentionally camouflages itself from humans. The mystical city is so good at doing this that none of our contemporary technologies can detect it, not even our most sophisticated mapping technologies. It's almost as though it exists in a different dimension, although physically present in the Himalayas. But then again, some believe that it only exists in a dimension and plane of reality different from ours. It is further described as a pure land in the human realm, which can only be visited by karmic connection. In other words, those that have lived pure and good lives are more likely to make it to this land, than those who have lived tainted and evil lives. Given the fact that this land exists and inhabits people who are living to advance and help humankind, it does make sense that the best kind of people live there. There are some who believe that Gyanganj exists in an isolated time bubble. What this means is that there is no concept of space and time there, which is why no one ages or dies as long as they remain there. Basically, you find yourself in another time period whenever you visit Gyanganj. There are 4 locations which are considered possible entrances to Gyanganj. These include the Valley of the Moon, the mysterious Mount Kailash, Shwetalak Lake, and one other unnamed mountain that's only accessible from the town and Hindu pilgrimage site, Gangotri. Although these are considered possible entrances, they are yet to be proven and verified. But how can we be sure that this exists at all? The existence of Gyanganj is rooted in Indian and Tibetan texts, specifically, Hindu and Buddhist traditions. In Tibetan traditions, the root of the Gyanganj can be traced to Tibet, where an ancient celestial kingdom known as Shambala is most well known. Shambhala is derived from the ancient Sanskrit language and it is roughly translated as the source of happiness. Although the name Gyanganj is not used in these ancient Tibetan scripts, Shambhala does share a lot of similarities with Gyanganj. So much so that it is basically considered the same place. Shambhala, or in our case, Gyanganj, is a place where most of the spiritual teachings of the world are protected by immortal beings. With technology so advanced, it would put ours to shame. These individuals do not just sit and live in pleasure, instead, they protect and nurture the spiritual teachings of all faiths and beliefs. They impart their wisdom to others, and deliberately influence mankind for good. Although they seldom involve themselves in the affairs of men, the Tibetan Buddhists believe that during a time of great chaos, the 25th ruler of Shambhala will appear and lead the world to a better age. The Buddhist teachings also state that the Kalachakra, or Wheel of Time, which is considered the pinnacle of Buddhist wisdom, can be found in this mystical place. Gautama Buddha is believed to have assumed the form of Kalachakra before his death, and delivered the highest of his teachings to gods and a group of adepts in South India, including King Suchandra, who became the first king of Shambhala. Suchandra is believed to have founded Shambhala based on the teachings and sermons of Gautama Buddha. Shambhala is sometimes referred to as Shangrila in Buddhist traditions. Remember, I mentioned that there are no directions to Gyanganj, and no one really knows where it is? Well, in the Buddhist tradition, there are directions to Shambhala, but they are not easily understood. It is believed that the directions were left in a cryptic language, so only the enlightened could find them. In Hindu tradition and scriptures, which are known as the Valmiki Ramayana and Mahabharata, there are references to a mystical city that can be linked to Gyanganj, but just like the Tibetan scriptures, it has a different name. In Hindu tradition, the mystical kingdom that closely resembles Gyanganj is referred to as Sidhashram. In Hindu tradition, Sidhashram is believed to be the spiritual monastery, or ashram, of ancient saints, sages, and yogis of the highest order. In this place, you will find only the most enlightened individuals, who are also known as the Siddhas. Anyone who reaches sadhana, and has the blessings of a guru, can also make it to the spiritual abode. In the Hindu scriptures, the possible location of Gyanganj is revealed. It is stated to be near Mansarovar Lake, near Kailash. According to Hindu traditions, you would find saints and sages roaming the place, including the likes of Maharishi Vashishta and Mahayogi Gorakhnath. Anyone who goes there can have the opportunity to listen to their sermons. It is also believed among the Hindus that anyone wishing to enter Sidhashram or Gyanganj must first travel to Mount Kailash and perform sadhana, which is basically meditation, yoga, prayer, chanting, or any other activity that builds spiritual discipline, for the first 21 days. Once they see this through properly, sages will appear to them on the 22nd day and ask them to follow them to Sidhashram. They, however, make a stop at a cave full of goats or animals that are goat-like, where the Siddha will be expected to take the milk of the goats. Once they are done, they will find themselves in Sidhashram. The scriptures also show that sages and yogis at Sidhashram, or in our case Gyanganj, study 16 vidyas or sciences there. The most popular and well-known of these is sun science. They focus on learning, then imparting and finally influencing the destiny of the world using new dimensions of knowledge. It's not all science though, as the Apsaras are dedicated and devoted to music, aesthetics and technology. Just in case you didn't know, Apsaras are beautiful and graceful female celestial beings created to serve as servants of the gods. Physically, the ancient scriptures give us an idea of what the city looks like. It is described as resembling a lotus with 8 petals and surrounded by snow-clad mountains, with the tree of life which unites heaven, earth, and the underworld standing at its center. Some have also added that the valley is always dressed in a white color that is independent of the sun and moon. How do we know Gyanganj is this beautiful? Are there people who have visited the land? If you are enjoying this video, and haven't hit the like and subscribe buttons already, this will be a good time to do so. Coming back to our discussion, many have sought out the Holy Land, including the likes of popular and well-known figures like President Roosevelt among others. The CIA as well as the Chinese government are rumored to have conducted sweeps and satellite scans over the location. Despite this though, not many of these made any substantial progress in locating the city. It's supposed to be a spiritual location with conditions for finding it after all. Does that mean no one has ever seen it? Well, there is a spiritual leader and Punjab poet known as Guru Sai Kaka, who casually revealed during one meeting with intellectuals and scholars that he had been to Gyanganj many times. He stated that a sage escorted him each time he visited. He also received divine instructions and teachings whilst at the Gyanganj that he was not at liberty to casually reveal. According to him, Gyanganj existed on a dimension higher than ours. He added that it was a Shambhala with parallel locations in known places on the earth other than the Himalayas. Are spiritual leaders the only ones who have been there? Apparently not. An English army officer, known as L.P. Farrell, stated that he visited Gyanganj as far back as 1942. He claims he was led there by a sadhu who gave him a potion that placed him in a suspended animation, making it possible for him to travel there. He says he met highly advanced and enlightened sages, scholars, and scientists, with technology that was more advanced than anything he had ever seen. It was explained to him that the kingdom existed to guide and influence the course of human civilization with the main aim of promoting peace, understanding, and spiritual development. This advanced civilization, however, worked things out in the background, without directly interfering in the affairs of men. Not many believed L.P. Farrell though, because of the subscription to the idea that only holy and enlightened individuals can make it to Gyanganj, and Farrell did not fit any of these categories. Another person who insisted he made it to Gyanganj was Gopinath Shastri Bud. He was a mountaineer who got lost in the Himalayas. Whilst lost, He took some unfamiliar mushrooms which were poisonous. If you know anything about mushrooms, you know this was not good, but luckily for him, he survived. But it left him disoriented. In his disorientation, he walked until he stumbled across a mountain that seemingly had a gap covered by fog. In his state, he couldn't tell the depth of the gap and fell into it, rendering him unconscious. When he came to, he was no longer lost in the Himalayas. Instead, he was surrounded by bald men and very beautiful women. They treated his wounds, and when he was fine they sent him on his way. His story does sound a tad different from the other two though. What he described sounds like a physical location he stumbled into injured and was mysteriously healed. It does not in any way fit the description of Gyanganj that we have so far, but he was very convinced he had been there. But like Farrell, many doubted him and did not believe someone like him could have gone to Gyanganj, but he insisted he did. The thing with these experiences is that they are highly subjective and almost close to impossible to measure. While there is no proof, yet, that Gyanganj or Sidhashram or Shambhala exist, a part of me strongly believes that it does, and I hope to be allowed to visit it one day. Until then, the idea is to live a life that will make me worthy of the call. What about you? Do you think Gyanganj exists? Have you or anyone close to you had an experience? Are there interesting facts you think we didn't add? Do tell us in the comments section. And do not forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more. Thanks for staying with us. See you in the next video.